just as a summary, spirulina, blue, phycocyanins, and then chlorella, which has got the chlorophyll in, that is going to be, well, what it's got chlorophyll in, and that's going to be more for your detox. Am I right?
Yes, yes, but the blue-green spirulina does have chlorophyll. It's the other half of the pigments.
Okay.
But chlorella is the only detoxing algae. It's way more than cleansing. It's a chelator. And I can explain to you, if
Mm.
you'd like, the difference between the two of them and what the mechanisms are and the nutrients found in each of them that have these different properties and different actions in your body and in your brain, because they are quite significantly different. And depending on what your goal is, you might want one over the other, or what we generally recommend is both. But sometimes you only want one, and so depending on what your biggest need is, that would determine which algae that you take.
Well,
So let's dig into it.
let's put the frame in. We've been running cognoscopies, not colonoscopies, for quite a few years now, using Dale Bredeson's protocol. And what we've seen with our business executives, our corporate leaders, our entrepreneurs, is that mental performance is decreasing, in some cases plummeting, and people are complaining of brain fog. They've got the hyperactive hive mind. They can't do complex tasks. And we've seen this in the objective scores. So take us through the frame of both, the importance of chlorella and the importance of spirulina, how you would take them, and what the dosages would be if you want to improve mental performance.
Yes, and I'm so glad that you're addressing that because particularly in the executive suite in corporations, by the time someone is in the executive suite, they're usually in their 50s or 60s because they've acquired all that business expertise, and so they should be performing optimally. And unfortunately, what we're finding is that's just not the case. And so, because they're getting this, as you mentioned, brain fog, or they're having heart attacks, or developing other chronic illnesses. Because all of these chronic illnesses, whether it's a brain related one or other body parts, they kick in after the age of 40 and they really escalate at 50. And I'll tell you exactly why this is happening. It's not just a detrimental, clearly, for the individual. It's also detrimental for the company because they have groomed this executive suite for so many years, invested so much time in these individuals, and suddenly, just when they're supposed to be at their optimal performance, they crash. Mentally, physically, and it's a long road back to get them back if they get them back at all. And so we really want to help people and companies protect their investment and protect their lives. And it's like a lot of things. If you know the recipe, it's relatively easy. But of course, no one's explaining this to you or what the ingredients are in your recipe. So that's what I'm going to do. So what's going on that's causing this drop in mental performance, brain fog, and other health issues that jeopardize people, particularly after the age of 40? Well, we know that after the age of 40, for women, for example, they get into perimenopause and menopause. And it's particularly as you get into menopause and you're in the closer to 50, things start changing. Your body just does not perform the way it does. And a lot of that is because of your hormonal changes that occur. Estrogen stops being produced once you get into menopause. And what people don't know is that estrogen has a antioxidant effect on the mitochondria. So women suffer these issues, these brain issues and other health issues more than men, because as you're going to find out, everybody loses a particular antioxidant after the age of 40 and certainly after 50, but women get hit twice as hard because they lose the estrogen, which has a similar neutralizing effect on the mitochondria. So before I get into the deep dive of what's going on, let me explain to you what the mitochondria are, because this is the linchpin for health, mental health, physical health, longevity, performance. Everything depends on mitochondria health. And what are they? They are these little organelles that are found in all of your cells that generate what's called cellular energy. It's also known as ATP. Now, this isn't energy just to run to the grocery store or have a workout. This is cellular energy that helps propels your neurotransmitters to work, your lymphatic system to work, your heartbeat, your lungs. Absolutely everything in your body requires this stuff called cellular energy, also known as ATP. So think about it. In an office, you can't do any work. You can be top of your game, but if your light bulbs go out or you get a power shut down, you're in the black. You're in the darkness. You can't do any work. So let's say your lights go out and you just call maintenance and they turn the lights back on or they replace the bulb that went out for you. Easy peasy. Well, in your body, the same thing happens. As you get older, the mitochondria, the mitochondria generate all of that electricity. They're the light bulbs and the electricity. So they are required for everything that you do, absolutely everything. But as you get older, they get damaged and they decrease in number. And the reason why that is happening, because you are losing after the age of 40 a very important antioxidant that protects your mitochondrial DNA from free radical damage. That antioxidant has a very long name. I'll say it for you, but I'll tell you the short form as well. The long term is superoxide dismutase, and the short form for that is SOD. Think of SOD as your SOS for your mitochondria, okay? Now, what's going on? Why is your SOD decreasing in quantity so it's no longer able to protect your mitochondria? Well, here's the deal. We have been on Earth for 2 million years. Now, we have died at the age of 30 for the vast majority of that period. We've started living longer only about 150 years ago. Evolutionarily, our body, our biology thinks we're dying at 30. So nature is so efficient. It knows that if something's going to end soon, it's going to start slowing down production of certain things. Just like here in North America, in the Northeast, when we get into the fall, autumn season, the light is not as strong. And so the leaves start turning yellow and orange because there's not enough light to generate all those beautiful green leaves. There's not enough chlorophyll. It's just a slowdown. It's a seasonal slowdown. Our bodies are the same way, except the seasonal slowdown occurs at the age of 30 because Mother Nature thinks and has programmed us to prepare for death after the age of 30. So after the age of 30, and certainly by 40, things like hormones slow down. This is why women don't have estrogen. Things like melatonin slows down. These are all things that your body makes for you. It also slows down the production of this stuff called superoxide dismutase, which you have from the moment you're born, also known as SOD. So what does superoxide dismutase do? Well, it protects your mitochondria from free radical damage. And what is free radicals? We all know well, let me remind you in case you don't know. A free radical is a molecule with an unpaired electron. And so nature strives for balance and harmony. And so an unpaired a free radical will try to steal an electron from a neighboring molecule to balance itself out, which leaves that molecule unstable. So it steals another electron. This is how tissue damage occurs. Now, the good news is there's these things called antioxidants, which I'm sure you've heard of, and things like vitamin A, vitamin C, blueberries have a lot of antioxidants. These are molecules with extra electrons, and they give the electron away to the free radical to calm it down, balance it out so it won't damage any tissue and steal electrons from other molecules. Well, that's normally what happens. However, in your mitochondria, the mitochondria have a second inner membrane that is impenetrable by virtually all antioxidants. So you can eat a room full of blueberries and virtually none of those antioxidants will get in to stop the free radicals that are a byproduct of ATP. Because ATP, which is that cellular energy, nobody talks about the fact that a byproduct are free radicals. It's just the way it is. So you need antioxidants to neutralize those free radicals, except most can't get in there. It's like being in an ICU unit. It's in lockdown. There are a handful that can get in there. One is glutathione, one is chlorophyll, and the third one is superoxide dismutase, which is the most important one. And you may wonder why. Why is superoxide dismutase the most important antioxidant, period? Well, because the type of free radical that is released during the ATP process is called superoxide. It's only generated in the mitochondria. And what makes it so damaging? More damaging than any other free radical? It's because it has 3 unpaired electrons, not just one, 3. So this antioxidant, which is called superoxide dismutase, by the way, dismutase means to dim. You think you dim a light. Dismutase reduces the superoxide to water and oxygen, so it neutralizes it, so it can't damage the the DNA of the mitochondria. The way I describe it to people is, if you've ever seen one of those big golf umbrellas, whether you're a golfer or a shopper, if you have one of those big golf umbrellas and you're stuck in a rainstorm, you pop up that big golf umbrella, you're protected. You could get like 5 or 6 people under one of those big golf umbrellas, right? Now, think about it. You haven't stopped the rain, but you've stopped the rain of drops getting to you because you're protected. That's what superoxide does.